Okay, so today we're going to be talking some more about some of the investment opportunities or different types of accounts that banks offer or financial institutions offer. So yesterday we discussed checking accounts, savings accounts, and the process to open those accounts. We talked a little bit about CDs or certificates of deposit. So now we're going to talk a little bit about 401k plans. 401k plans are employer-sponsored benefit plans. So in other words, you have to work for a company that offers 401k plans in order to participate. And it's a very, very beneficial plan to be involved in. So if you go to work for anywhere and they offer a 401k plan, you need to sign up. So what happens in a plan, in a 401k plan, is when you start to work and they offer you to join in on the 401k plan, you contribute a percentage of your paycheck each month or week or however often you get paid into the account, and the company usually matches and puts in some of their own money in addition to what you put in, and then they manage it for you and invest it in different things that makes your money grow and grow and grow. It's designed to save for retirement, and I know most of you are a long way from retirement, but it's your money that you can take with you if you leave and go to another job. If you have been worked there long enough, then you can take that money plus the money that the company gives you with you. But you never will lose your investment. You can always take, when you leave, it will go with you. So it's a very good plan. So anytime any of you go to work and you're offered a 401k plan, you need to participate. Because if you contribute 3% or even 6%, it's going to come directly out of your account, out of your paycheck, and you're not going to really realize it. It's also beneficial because it's a tax benefit. So what happens is when you get paid, they take out the 3% that you participate in first, or the 6%, or how much ever you choose that you can do. They take that out before they tax you. So they don't tax you on that portion. So it's a very good tax benefit as well. And we'll talk more about paychecks and how that works later on in a couple months or later on in the year. But it's a retirement account, but it's a very good plan because you don't think about saving for retirement. So this helps you when you're younger build up a nest egg, because it's very hard for people just to live on Social Security. So people who have this 401k plan and have been fortunate to work for a company that offers it, which most companies do now, or larger companies, and even mid-size and smaller companies sometimes do. So make sure that you participate in that. So employers, like I said, can contribute a portion of their profit into the employee's 401k plan. So for instance, my husband works for Coca-Cola, or he just retired, but was participating in the 401k plan for a long time. So he would put a portion of his, we'll say 6%, I think that's what it was originally, 6% of his paycheck into the 401k plan. And the company, Coca-Cola, matched 6%. So really, if you look at it like that, it's just like throwing money away. If the company's going to give you an extra 6%, why not? So he recently retired. So he was able to retire because he had this 401k plan. So they also have the right to enforce a vesting policy. So what that means is you may have to work for the company for a certain period of time before you're fully vested, which means if you say their vesting period is 1 year, so you would have to work for the company for at least a year, and then if you change jobs, then your portion plus their portion you would be able to roll it over into another plan, or take it in a check, however you choose to take it. It's better to roll it over because you don't have to pay taxes over on it if you roll it over to another plan. Some companies, the vesting period might be 3 years, maybe even 5 years. Okay. So employers have to sponsor a 401k plan, and individuals cannot start 401k plans on their own. Okay, so y'all need to know this. You have to work for a company that sponsors it. You can't just go into a bank and say, I want to open a 401k plan. You have to work for a company who sponsors that plan. Like even Walmart has a really good 401k plan. So even, and I think, you know, maybe if you're part-time, you can participate in it. So anytime you work for a company, sign up for it. Okay, so then we're going to go over IRAs. So IRAs stands for individual retirement accounts. So that's something that you as an individual can open at a bank, and it's designed for your retirement. The benefits of an IRA account is you can put it aside and not pay taxes on the interest that you earn. It's different on a CD. When you earn interest, you have to pay taxes on that portion of the interest that you pay. Like at the end of the year when you pay income taxes, and we'll go over taxes too. But on an IRA, the interest, you don't have to do that. And there's two types of IRAs. There's a Roth IRA and just a regular IRA. So on a regular IRA, sometimes it restricts the amount of cash which you can contribute depending on your salary and your family life cycle, that kind of thing. And also it could be a tax benefit because when you do your taxes at the end of the year, sometimes you can it can be used as a deduction, and you might get more on your taxes. And we'll go over that later too. Okay, so traditional IRAs. The first kind is traditional IRAs, and then we have a Roth IRA. This is about the traditional IRA. So it reduces your tax liability, like we said earlier. In other words, contributions are tax deductible. So if you put in $2,000 in an IRA, most of the time it's tax deductible. So at the end of the year, when you get ready to do your taxes and you've contributed to an IRA, then you can take a tax benefit from that IRA, in addition to you having that money, because that's like a savings account for retirement. Then also the interest that you earn is also tax deferred. You can't draw the money out until you're 59 and a half without a penalty. So if you needed it really bad, you could take it out before then, but they would charge you a 10% penalty, plus you would have to add that amount as income on your tax return. So it's not recommended that you do that unless it's a dire emergency. But it is your money. It's always going to be your money. And it requires withdrawing the money at the age of 70 and a half. And I know y'all are not thinking about when you turn 70 and a half, but if you have an IRA, when you turn 70 and a half, you have to start making withdrawals. Okay, Roth IRAs are more applicable to you guys because Roth IRAs are something that's really beneficial now, and a lot of people are doing Roth IRAs. They don't provide a tax shelter on contributions. In other words, tax liability is not reduced. So if you open a Roth IRA, you're not able to take that benefit when you do your taxes at the end of the year. However, you're not required to pay taxes on the interest, and you can withdraw it at any time. So it is more beneficial for younger people, I think, and a lot of people now, Roth IRAs have become very popular. So you never have to pay taxes on the interest that you earn. Okay, mutual funds, and this is a little more complicated, so I'm just going to give you a real short overview, and then later on in the year we'll talk more about mutual funds. But mutual funds, it's just kind of like a pool of investments. So, think about like a swimming pool, and, the floats might be stocks, and the people in the pool might be, bonds. So there's different investments in a pool, like several different investments, and it's professionally managed by a company. Or so some of the examples of mutual funds you could get would be Templeton World, or there's probably there's just thousands of them, and we'll do some research on that. But mutual funds, good investment, and again, a little more complicated, and we'll talk more in detail about it later on. But you just have an overview of what it basically is. Okay, stocks. So stocks are an investment in publicly traded companies. So if you buy stocks, then you're buying ownership into a company. So if you buy, we'll say, Walmart is a publicly traded company. So you want to buy 100 shares of Walmart stock. So you are now an owner, part owner, because you own stock in Walmart. And so as the price goes up, you earn money. And so the stock market is another thing. We're going to play the stock market game in here, and that's a lot of fun. We're probably going to do that around Christmas, start that. And so y'all will get a really good idea of how the stock market works. It's real fun. There's two types of stocks, common and preferred. So common stocks, you get to vote. So like whenever they, if you own stocks, they'll send you out a proxy, and you have voting rights. But you don't get dividends, or you're the last one to get dividends. And dividends are when the company makes a profit at the end of the year. They have some extra money, so they send dividends to their preferred stockholders. The preferred stockholders, they can't vote, but they're the first to receive dividends. So if a company, say Walmart, makes a whole bunch of money at the end of the year, then their preferred stockholders, the more stock you own in it, the higher the dividend. You might get a little check from Walmart, or they might just deposit it into your 401k plan, or however. But dividends, preferred, common, no dividends. Emergency funds. We all need an emergency fund. Even you guys need an emergency fund. It's recommended $1,000 for adults, and maybe $500 for you guys. But it provides a cushion, and we talked a little bit about emergency funds earlier in this unit. But emergency fund is something happens, a small emergency, not a major thing, but maybe my dryers went out, and so that's a little emergency because you need a dryer to dry your clothes. So you have a little emergency fund, so it doesn't come out of your regular budget that you've created, because if you had to spend buy a new dryer, then it would might ruin your budget. So you have this little extra cushion to take care of those little emergencies. And so you want to put that in a savings account or a money market account, because it's easy to get to. You're setting it aside, so you're not going to spend it in your checking account, but you have it there in case, and it's easy to get to because you can just go in the bank and make a withdrawal. And it earns a little bit of interest, easily accessible. Okay, so we didn't talk about money market accounts. A money market account is just a form of a savings account that draws a little bit more interest than a regular savings account. You can write checks on it, limited checks, maybe 3 a month. It also has limited withdrawals, but generally a money market account, you have to keep more money in it. So for you guys, a savings account, and then you might move to a money market account when you get some additional saved up. Okay, unemployment rate. The unemployment rate affects personal financial planning. So for example, when the unemployment rate is low, monetary supply is increased, which leads to an increase in savings. So in other words, when we all have jobs, everybody has jobs, then you're able to save more money, right? So the supply is increased, so there's more money because people are making more money. That makes sense, right? So as people are making, there's more money available. And so that increases savings because more people that have jobs have more disposable income or extra income at the end of the month to put into a savings. So that affects, your financial planning. Okay, and this little graph here just is an example of the economic shifts affecting monetary supply. So right now, is our unemployment high or low? It's high right now, not as much in Texas as in some other states or even some other countries, but because of the pandemic, then it's caused the unemployment rate to go up. So fewer people have jobs, so there's less money out there. The monetary supply has gone down because people don't have jobs and they're not getting, paid as much. All right, that's it for that unit. And so tomorrow we will review for a test on Friday, or a little quiz,